If you're a bloke carrying extra weight and you're battling fatigue, sweat, chafing, sleep, or libido, stay with me. Today we're talking higher BMI in men, why it can make fat loss harder, movement harder, and groin skin issues way more likely, and what you can do about it starting tonight. This series is purely focused on male health. Hi, I'm Sarah Jamison, a science-trained medical researcher turned founder of Beans Underwear. I solved my 3.5 year infertility journey by flipping the script and looking at men's health. And I ended up building a global first medical device registered here in Australia with the TGA that puts men's health at the forefront and made me a mum to Heidi and Van. I use peer-reviewed clinical data to translate everyday men's health into plain English because prevention protects you and the next generation. Now, stay with me till the end. I give you practical steps you can start immediately. No shame, no jargon. And you don't have to buy anything from me to use what I'm sharing today. Now, a quick disclaimer. This is educational content only. This is not medical advice. If you've got symptoms or concerns, go see your GP for personalized care. Don't leave it until it's at crisis point. Now, this new educational series is going to every other weekend, and I'll publish all the supporting clinical resources in a correlating blog on the Cool Beans Underwear website. All right, if you've been feeling flat, sweaty, uncomfortable, and like everything else, it takes more effort than it should, you're not crazy. Let me give you the simplest way to think about BMI and being overweight in two simple parts. When BMI rises in men, two things commonly happen in parallel. Part one, the groin environment often gets warmer, sweatier, and an increase in friction. More thigh contact, more dampness, more rubbing. So we're seeing men struggling with chafing and heat rash, especially right now with the heat waves we're seeing hitting Australia this summer. Part two, testosterone production decreases as it is highly temperature dependent, and that can affect your energy, muscle, fat loss, libido, pretty much every part of men's health. It also makes men with decreased testosterone predisposed to chronic illnesses such as cardiovascular health and diabetes. This is not a testosterone problem, though, and I do not recommend that you go out there and start testosterone replacement therapy, but instead look at why is your testosterone low, and I hope to help shed some light on that today. And when these two mechanisms start feeding on each other, you get stuck in this loop and your health continues to decline and your BMI continues to increase. Weight loss is consistency, and consistency dies when you're feeling uncomfortable. BMI gets thrown around like it tells the full story, and it most definitely doesn't. BMI incorporates height and weight. That's it. It's not a judgment on you. It doesn't measure your effort, your character, or what you're capable of, but it can be used as a useful flag that your body isn't working how it should be, that it's working harder than it ought to be. And the real test is simple. How are you going? How are you sleeping? Have you got enough energy? Are you comfortable? Can you move without paying for it later on? These are the questions you need to be asking. And can we be honest for a second? A lot of men are walking around uncomfortable as hell down there, and nobody is talking about it. With higher BMI, you get more skin contact, more sweat and dampness, as we've already mentioned, and it becomes a painful friction problem. The next thing you're doing, that little awkward walk because your skin feels like it's on fire. That's not weakness, that's simple physics. Now, have you ever started walking daily, feeling proud of yourself, and by 3, you're like, why do my legs feel like they're on fire? Chafing, heat rash, sweat. It's simple. We know this. But especially now in summer here in Australia in the Southern Hemisphere, it's hotter, you're sweating more, and suddenly it feels like all your bits are rubbing together. And you're standing there thinking, is this just me? It's not. You're not alone. And here's the part that does my head in. Men's underwear was never designed for the male anatomy. It would be like telling all women they have to wear a single size uni bra with the same support, same shape, whether you're small chested or large chested. Good luck with that. But that's basically what men get. You're all different shapes and sizes, but you're expected to wear the same style of underwear, with the only difference being in the waist size. So I'm going to take a moment and actually show you how Cool Beans works. Because the number one feedback we get from all different size men is that these are the comfiest undies they've ever worn. And the big ones I hear over and over again is there's no more chafing, no more heat rash. And it finally feels like my underwear was made for me, no matter what size package they've got, no matter what size BMI. And if you want to see the real differences, the real feedback that we are getting, check out our corresponding blog on the Cool Beans underwear episode. I'll put in there testimonials that we've received from our consumers, and I'll also include the peer-reviewed clinical data that I've used to put this together today. So you can go deeper into the research and understand what I'm trying to explain today. So they are designed to look like normal, everyday underwear that men actually wear. But it's this front mechanism where all the magic happens. So internally, we've got a little slot. You place your scrotum into an external elasticized mesh pouch. Now you can see you're going to be able to get that easy ventilation, that dissipation of heat and sweat. The two main issues we had to solve with normal underwear was that the testes fall between the legs when a man is seated. They get insulated, which is where we're getting that friction, why that chafing is occurring. As well as when the testes are held on next to the body, they're constantly absorbing the body's core temperature. So we now have a fabric panel that also houses the penis that prevents that absorption of core body temperature. But is actually how this pouch is designed is the most important key feature. What that does, it gently elevates and holds the scrotum forward, placing it on a man's lap, not allowing the testes to fall down between his legs, which is why men are also finding it so incredibly comfortable. None of their bits are now getting squished. Additionally, that scrotal pouch comes in 3 different sizes. Like I mentioned earlier, all scrotums come in different shapes and sizes, similar to women's breasts. So it's so important to be able to get something that is actually made for your shape and size. Now, here's the simple science. Body fat is insulation, which is why animals put on fat to help them prepare for winter. Insulation traps heat closer to the body. So the groin becomes warmer and sweatier, especially as your thigh circumference continues to increase, which further causes contact with the testes between the thighs, resulting in that testicular heat increasing. More sweat equals more rubbing. More rubbing breaks down the skin on your thighs faster, and once it's painful, movement becomes something you avoid. So now there are 3 buckets that you can start today, and you only need to be consistent. You don't need to be perfect. Firstly, shower and fully dry yourself. Don't rush it. If you're rash prone, use a cool hair dryer on low for your skin creases and folds. Change underwear midday if you find you are sweating a lot, especially during the heat blasts that we're getting right now. And choose breathable gear where you can. Thick, heat-trapping clothing makes it worse. And try to use natural fibers and minimize that skin-on-skin contact within the groin. Use anti-chafe balm on your inner thighs and groin creases. The size of your underwear actually matters. Too small means that they're going to dig in and compress the skin and increase the chance of your skin rubbing. Too big with too much material causes bunching and folding of fabric, and that can cause rubbing and chafing as well. You want underwear that doesn't bunch and reduces skin-on-skin contact. If movement's hurting because of chafing, you don't need more discipline, you need less friction. You'll find with the Cool Beans underwear, the actual body of the underwear is designed to be a snug fit, so you're not getting that excess skin, but neither does it dig into your body. It's designed to give you abdominal and groinal support should you be also struggling with groin muscle strains, going through any type of hernia or post-operative care. Now, if walking feels like sandpaper between your thighs, you're not going to repeat it and continue walking. You're choosing punishment. Start with what you can repeat. Go for a walk during the cooler times of the day. Use a treadmill. Try swimming or water walking. It's absolutely incredible and so refreshing. Perhaps use a stationary bike, but please note that cycling is one of the worst sports for testicular heat and health. And for this reason, I would not recommend cycling to be your only activity, and try not to spend too long in the saddle when you do. The most important thing though is that you're not chasing a heroic session. You're chasing repeatable wins. That is why I'm doing this series. Men deserve clear information early before it becomes a crisis. I'll be back after this quick break. Most men don't realize this. Your testes are the powerhouse of male health, not just fertility. Testosterone impacts energy, mood, drive, muscle, fat loss, sexual performance, and long-term health. But modern life can trap heat right where you don't want it. Hours on office chairs and car seats, a bit more weight on the body, sweat, and undies that squish everything back where it can't breathe. That's why I built Cool Beans Biomedical Everyday Underwear, registered as a medical device here in Australia. The external pouch holds everything forward, helping reduce heat buildup, moisture, and friction, and supporting how male anatomy is meant to sit. Men use Cool Beans alongside fertility care, but we're also seeing it used along urology, oncology recovery, including post-op support and during chemo and radiation, where comfort, swelling, and skin irritation can become a daily battle. And with 3 pouch sizes, men can now choose more room when they need it and adjust things as things settle. If you've got symptoms though, do seek care with your GP and or specialist. To try Cool Beans, head to coolbeansunderwear.com and use code CBEducation10 for 10% off. All right, back to it. Now, a quick one before we go here. This is men's biology, and I know I'm a woman talking about it. If it feels a bit awkward, that's normal. But I'm not here for the weird internet energy. I'm here to give you the stuff you should have been told years ago. So if you've got questions, chuck them in the comments below, or if you'd rather keep it private, use the Contact Us form on the Cool Beans Underwear website. We all know that man. If they're feeling flat, they've got no drive, that perhaps they're moody, not sleeping properly. Perhaps that someone is you. Maybe you don't even recognize the version of yourself right now, looking at right back at you in the mirror. Where's the bloke you were in your 20s and 30s? Because for a lot of men, it's not just getting older or being lazy. There's real physiology underneath it. Testosterone isn't just about sex. It affects your energy, your drive, your muscle maintenance, belly fat storage, libido, erection, the whole operating system for men. And here's why higher BMI can feel like life is consistently hard. Higher body fat is linked with lower testosterone. And when testosterone is signaling drops, it's harder to build and keep that muscle. And muscle is your metabolism engine. It helps you burn more when at rest. Now, add in real life on top of your biology. You're carrying more weight around all day. Your knees feel it. Your back feels it. Even when you're getting up off the couch, you feel it. You're running hotter. You're sweating quicker. And you're tired sooner. And if your hormones are already sitting a bit low, that tiredness hits harder. So no, it's not all in your head. It's your body working overtime. If you're exhausted all the time, it's not a character flaw. Your body might be doing it tough. And once you get that, you stop hating on yourself and you start making smarter moves. Movement is harder when you're carrying more weight. You're overheating faster, fighting friction, causing chafing and heat rash. That's physics. It's not weakness. This is the bit that I care about most. Men don't usually lose health overnight. They lose it slowly. But we are normalizing being exhausted. We push through, drink more coffee, consume energy drinks. We laugh it off, and we often delay getting checked. It's prevention that protects the next generation. That's the whole point. I don't want our sons inheriting a world where we treat symptoms as normal and prevention as optional. But this is how we treat men's health today. But it affects everyone because we all know a man that we love. Now we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to get straight back into it. If you're watching this series because you're trying to feel better energy, sleep, mood, health, I wrote a book that explains why so many men feel flat right now and what you can actually do about it. It's called Cool Beans, One Woman's Mission to Reclaim Fertility Through Men's Health. And it follows my 3.5-year infertility journey and how I flipped the script to focus on men's health and what's happening globally with testosterone, fertility, and long-term well-being. And what does that mean for the next generation? It's packed with practical steps for him, for her, and for couples, all backed by peer-reviewed clinical data in plain English. If you want a signed copy, you can grab one through the Cool Beans Underwear website. If you'd rather, Amazon, it's available unsigned and on Kindle. And if you've got symptoms or concerns, always consult your GP. All right, now let's make this practical. What can you use? I don't want you chasing perfection. I want you to chase repeatability. And here's the truth. Your first goal isn't weight loss. Your first goal is comfort, sleep, and movement you can repeat daily or every other day. Tonight, try and sleep cooler. Put the fan on, use lighter bedding. Make sure you are wearing breathable sleepwear. Shower and fully dry yourself before bed. And here's the bit most people don't even realize. When men fall asleep, no matter if you're on your back, your side, your stomach, everything relaxes and the testes drop back down between your legs. So even when you're sleeping naked, it doesn't fix the fact that your testes are overheating. Sleeping is the worst time for testicular heat because it's not about fabric. It's about where everything ends up, resting while you're asleep. As we've already identified, the testes are incredibly sensitive to heat. And when it gets too hot, your nervous system notices and your body does what it's designed to do. It tries to fix it by sending signals to the brain to pull your testes out from between your legs or to reposition to cool the testes. This is why so many men toss and turn all night long. Those little half-wake moments where you are shuffling, reposition, spreading your legs, pulling things out forward, and you don't even remember doing it. But your sleep does. Your REM cycle is disrupted and you feel it the next day as you reach for that first morning cup of coffee. So if you're waking up tired and you don't know why, it might not be your mindset. It could be that your body's been fighting to stay cool all night. And this is one of the reasons why some men choose to sleep in their cool beans. Because when everything's held out front, it's not trapped back between the thighs. And men are waking up feeling more refreshed, motivated, and like they've actually had a proper night's sleep. But results will vary on BMI, sleep environment, and bedding, of course. If your body has to keep repositioning all night to cool down, you're not getting a proper sleep. So this week, aim to reduce sweat and friction within the groin. Dry properly after showering. Use anti-chafe balm if required. Pack spare undies for those hot, sweaty days. And invest in underwear that prevents bunching and reduces skin-on-skin contact. Find an activity that allows you to move without punishment the next day. Exercise for 10 to 15 minutes to begin with during the early mornings or evenings when it's cooler. Look at swimming or water walking. Make the time. Aim for 15 minutes a day or 3 times a week for a longer session. Make one change to your diet. Think high fat and protein and low carb and sugar. Too many people think that fat is bad when sugar is in fact much worse. Perhaps do a detox, cut alcohol for a month. I'm currently doing dry February after definitely overindulging during the festive season and then traveling through the US this January. Many people think you need to only do cardio to lose weight. And while it's important to include cardio, remember that muscle makes fat loss easier and boosts your metabolism. If you can try to do 2 to 3 short bodyweight sessions, chair squats, wall push-ups, there are so many YouTube episodes on this. Just search for beginner bodyweight exercises. Most importantly, if you are struggling and new to exercise, work with your GP. Make sure there are no underlying health conditions and get a personal trainer who has expertise working with higher BMI men, as the last thing you want is to injure yourself. All right, before I wrap all of this up, I just want to pull this episode together. If you take nothing else from today, take this. When you're carrying extra weight, your body can end up fighting you in 2 places at once. One is down there, hotter, sweaty, and more chafing, and you're uncomfortable and you just stop moving. Not because you're weak, because who the hell wants to live like that? And second is what a lot of men don't realize is as BMI goes up, testosterone goes down. And when that happens, you can feel flat, moody, less driven, less like yourself. Then everything feels harder and the loop keeps going. So tonight isn't about becoming a new person. It's about making it easier to win, sleep cooler, reduce that heat buildup and that discomfort, and be able to move more that you can actually repeat and enjoy. I'm telling you, comfort is what keeps you in the game. And that's the bigger point I care about, because I don't want our boys growing up thinking that feeling wrecked, uncomfortable, and not talking about these issues is normal. You've already got the engine. Cool Beans just helps it run how it was designed to by reducing the heat and compression modern bodies, modern attire, and modern life can trap down there. Now, this is the first episode in this new educational series with new episodes dropping every other weekend. And check out the corresponding blog as it has all the critical resources and key takeaways from each episode. And if you've been feeling hot and sweaty down there, dealing with chafing or heat rash, don't just tolerate it. Those are the early signs that your groin is running too hot, too damp, and under too much friction. And that will impact your comfort, movement, sleep, and how you can show up every day. Invest in your comfort and your health today. Try Cool Beans at coolbeansunderwear.com and use CB Education 10 for 10% off. I'm doing this because I've got 2 kids watching, Heidi and Van, and I want a better future for them and for generations to come. If this helped, share it with a man that you love, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.